Bear Mountain Bridge, crossing over the Hudson River. And that is Anthony's Nose Mountain in the background. You heard me right. Anthony's Nose Mountain in the background. All right, we're going to cross this and probably get some really good views over top the Hudson. Seen vultures just hanging out in a tree like this. I only ever see them eating something or flying in the air. That's cool. I guess they're just like a normal bird. They like to hang out in trees. Well, that was a pretty steep climb coming up off of the Hudson River. Jump right into the woods with some big steep boulder stairs, and then not really scrambling, but you're just kind of, you know, choosing the right rock and just constant boom, 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 boom. It was definitely a good workout first thing in the morning, especially after a very level bridge. And then all of a sudden, boom, 500 feet in about a fourth of a 0.4 of a mile. Woo, good little workout. So it looks like it levels off for a little bit here, so I can not necessarily catch my breath. I'm not really out of breath too much, but I am sweating like crazy, and it's still pretty cool out. It just got me working all the things, the organs, the muscles, everything this morning. Feeling that burn in the leg, feeling that burn in the lungs, feeling that heart racing. Whoa, gotta love that burn first thing in the morning. All right, continuing on the trail. About just 1.5 miles into the day, so a long way to go. Getting that burn going right away gets the body ready. It's going to be an epic day. Getting close to 5 miles in for the day. There's been a few steep uphills, and then it flattens out or descends. So it looks like that's probably going to be the story. A lot of ups and downs because I'm getting ready to descend again here in about 1 mile. And then that'll get me down to almost 400 feet of elevation. So then that's like crossing a road. So when I come across the road to the other side, then I'll be, you know, going back up again. But seems to be a lot of overgrown like this, you know, in this part of the trail. I love it because it's different. Sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge because it covers the trail and you don't really know where the trail goes sometimes. And I've joked about, I mean, I don't know why I say I've joked about, I'm not around anyone, so I guess I'm telling myself jokes. But sometimes it seems like New York might need some paint. So if you have any white paint and a brush, maybe send that to them so they can, you know, paint some more blazes. Because sometimes they're really faded, or they're gone completely, or they're covered up for some reason. I mean, it's not much. I mean, for the most part, you could see them, but some of those weird times, like where you can't tell where the trail is, like either it's on rocks or, you know, overgrown on the trail. Very helpful. See, there's a blaze. You could see it, but it's starting to get faded. There's some that's a lot worse than that. You can't see it all. Or it's on the wrong side of a tree. There's been a couple times of that too, but not complaining about it. Obviously, just something I've noticed. Always could figure out where the trail is. Sometimes you just have to stop and look around. But all in all, the trail is kind of cruisy now. So not too many rocks. You get sections of rocks and roots, and then you have sections like this where it's just, you know, dead leaves laying over dirt with some rocks hanging up. Not real thick leaves, so you don't have to be too extra cautious when you're walking. You can usually see the rocks if they're there. But all in all, it's very pleasant walk so far today. A couple times of getting the sweat going, pretty steep uphills, 300 to 500 feet, and then levels out. So loving it so far. See what the day brings. Good stuff. Going to be great weather. Nice breeze going. It's supposed to be like in the mid 70s. Going to be a good day. Just came down a big descent of about 300 or 400 feet. Pretty easy coming down. No scrambling, no bouldering, no hand over hand action, having to grab onto things. Just walked right down. I could get used to this. I know it's not going to be like that forever, but I could definitely get used to it. And the trail just split there and I couldn't see a blaze first. I thought maybe I was on the wrong one, but I'm on the right one. But yeah, the trail is real nice, flat. You know, if it becomes rocky and scrambly again, it is what it is. You know, it's got to take the trail as it comes. But my feet could use some nice soft trail today. They've been a little bit sore the last couple of days, so that'll definitely help them recover a little bit. But coming out right now to a road, I think it's Highway 9, and on that road, once I cross it, still on the trail, the Appalachian Trail goes right there, across the road, and through a deli, not through the deli, but around the deli. The deli and the market that I'm heading to right now is right on the trail, is what I'm trying to say. So I'll probably get me a nice sandwich there, a breakfast sandwich or something, and then continue on for the day. But it's kind of nice that that's right there, a New York deli and market. A New York deli because I'm in New York. So get if I need to get anything resupply there, I might need a couple more sweet things for snacks. But I think I'm good on everything else, so we'll see. But almost there, and then continuing on the trail. Coming up to it right now, the Appalachian Market. It also has a gas station there, a Shell station. But man, I could smell that from like a quarter mile down the trail. I could smell the food cooking. That deli was so good. I'm so glad I stopped. One of the best breakfast sandwiches I've ever had, if not the best. It just hit all the spots. All the things my body was craving. It's called a McRicky, is what I got. It was basically a pancake sandwich. 2 pancakes were like the bread, and then it had sausage, bacon, egg, and cheese in it. So freaking good. With a side of syrup and a side of hash browns. Oh my goodness, so good. And then, just for good measure, I got a grilled bacon and cheese sandwich too. Because you can't have enough. You gotta have more. And they were both inexpensive compared to the other sandwiches, so it's kind of like I got those two for the price of one of the other ones. So it all worked out well. Really good. Really good. Oh, I kind of want to go back and eat them again. But if you ever find yourself at that area, it was Route 9 and something else. I don't even know. It's like it came to a Y road there, almost, where it split, and then in the split is where the market and deli was. But it's called the Appalachian Market, Appalachian Deli. If you ever find yourself there, I'd stop and get something if I were you. And for thru-hikers coming through, you know, that will be there later this year or next year, get the McRicky. I'm telling you, it'll change your life. Oh, so I got a little pep in my step, had some Mountain Dew with it, a little pep in my step, filled up on water, and back on trail. Getting ready to conquer some more miles. That deli came about 6.5 miles in for the day, so a lot more to go. these particular types of weeds and plants around here. I'm not really familiar with the smell. It's a good smell. It's definitely a nature smell. I'm just not sure what it is I'm smelling, but really nice aroma in here. Plenty of different kinds of plants and leaves that I don't know or haven't seen, and they're in plenty here. So whatever it is, sure putting off a good smell. I'm enjoying walking through here for sure. It's like a totally different state now once I cross over the Hudson River. It's just, I mean, there's elevation. Probably going to be more elevation than yesterday or the day before or the day before that even. It's just not as bouldery and scrambly and more cruisy type of trail. It still has the rocks in it too, which I don't mind at all. I don't mind any of it in moderation. I just don't necessarily want days of scrambling on in a row or days of rocks in a row. You know, I like it to mix up and give different terrain. But at the end of the day, you're not supposed to like everything you're doing. It's a tough challenge. That's why I'm doing it. I like the tough challenge. So I hope you don't ever take that when I say stuff like that as that, oh, I just want all nice and cruisy, because that's definitely not who I am. I want to climb those mountains. I want the challenge of bouldering and scrambling and doing things that are tough and pushes me to the limits. That's what I love to do. But every once in a while, it's nice to come across a little cruisy type of trail too. Sometimes it allows you to kind of just sit back and relax and take it all in even more, because you're spending all your time doing that instead of your body trying to push it to the limits on whatever terrain it might be at that moment. So I'm enjoying this for now, but it's totally different than on the other side of the Hudson for sure. It is a little more cruisy, a little more up and down, a little less rocky. But whatever those plants are, weeds, whatever they are, they sure do smell good. Almost smells like it should be a cologne. Standing on the summit of Denning Hill, a viewless summit. When the leaves are here, you probably see a little bit more when the leaves are not on the trees, but probably not a whole lot. It's called hills here, I guess, because they're not quite as high to make them a mountain. I don't know at what point a hill becomes a mountain, because I've seen mountains that were called mountains at 1,000 feet, and this one's over 1,000. So other mountains in the last couple of days were just like at 12 to 1,500, but I don't know. I just know what it's called, and I know that I'm on the summit, so Denning Hill is in the bag. Looks like a burn happened here. I don't know if it was a controlled burn or if it was some sort of small forest fire, but definitely a terrain change here as it becomes desolate looking. But you could see the green up here not too far, so it wasn't too big of an area at least, but it might have been a controlled burn for some reason. I don't know. I don't really understand all the controlled burns. Kind of understand why it happens sometimes or why they do it, but I don't understand all the reasons why they do it, and I definitely don't understand why they choose certain areas to do it. So that's beyond my scope of understanding or knowledge. So my thing is to just show you what I'm seeing, like you were right here with me. And if I know something about something, I'm happy to tell you. But when I don't, I'm not going to make it up. But as you can see, it's still beautiful. Like always, doesn't matter what's going on, it's still always beautiful. The way I look at this right now is the dark of the trees it's down with the contrast of the bright green, but then also that new life, and life is existing amongst death and destruction. Always a good way to look at everything and to see the beauty in everything. Got some rocks over here to the left. I haven't had to climb over any of those yet. Maybe I will here in a little bit as I'm getting closer to the next summit. Big old rocks and little rocks. Here's the trail. And it's been going through and around most of that. Here it looks like it goes forward, getting close to the next summit. So that summit's probably up on one of those rocky hills. So see what happens, but it's a nice bit of terrain change today. Cruisy trail, rocky trail, steep trail, flat trail, down trail, a little bit of everything. This is one of those times they don't have it marked, or at least I'm not seeing it. Right there's where I came from, so at least I know I'm coming from the right spot. But they don't have it marked on where it goes. And you can't really see a trail here because of the rocks and the logs and everything else. But here, this looks more like a trail where you have to blow down. Sometimes you just don't know and you take your best guess and you go forward and hope you see a white blaze. But these rocks over here are really cool. Really looks awesome. Alright, well, continuing on to this next summit and see what the next few mile or two brings. I just said the next few mile or two. The next few miles or the next mile or two. I don't know what I'm trying to say. The terrain keeps changing, so let's see what's next. I might have to break down today and put some repellent on, some DEET. It is a little swampy in this area, and with the rain that has hit in the last few days in this area, the mosquitoes are out in full force today. First time since I've been on this trail that they're almost too much for me to handle. I try to avoid the DEET as much as possible, but I'm having trouble outrunning them today. And every time I stop for anything, I have to get about 10 of them off me. So I'm pretty itchy right now. But that might just have to happen. We will find out as the day progresses. But they're out pretty strong right now. See what the trail does. See if it keeps me in like swampy, wet, foresty conditions where they are in droves. Because again, I would try to avoid it if I could. Standing on the summit of either Canopus or Canopus Hill. It was pretty steep coming up this one. So I'm glad to be standing on the summit. Mosquitoes chasing me the whole time. And me swatting at them the whole time. Don't stop to get a drink, because they'll eat you alive. So Canopus or Canopus Hill is in the bag. Okay, I'm not a big history buff, but this is pretty cool, so I wanted to share this with you all, especially those of you who are into history. This is right across a road where the trail continued. For those of you who can't read that or see it, I'll read it. When a smallpox epidemic threatened his army. In the winter of 1776, General Washington ordered that all troops be inoculated. This foundation is part of a colonial barn that served as an inoculation station for the Continental Army. Across the trail sits the remnants of the farmhouse built at the same time. So that's pretty cool. That's what this is. It was part of the foundation at that time. 1776 is a long time ago, in case you was not aware. That's almost 250 years ago now. So here and here some more. This is the road that I crossed. And across the trail, right there's the trail. So I guess that over there is the foundation that it was talking about. But this is pretty cool. This was part of the inoculation station here. This is the foundation. Really awesome. When you run across something that was built 250 years ago and part of it's still there, even if it wasn't General Washington at the time that had something to do with it, it's still pretty cool just knowing that, you know. So we do live in a young country, that's for sure. There's, you know, it doesn't have the history necessarily going back, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago or thousands of years ago, like a lot of the other countries may have some buildings still intact for that. But anyway, that's pretty cool. Thought I would share that with you. I just passed 3 hikers going the other direction, and they knew I was through hiking, and one of them said, "Oh, you look really fresh." And I said, "Thank you," but in my mind I was thinking, I noticed you didn't say smell fresh, because that I do not. So about 17.5 miles in so far. The trail's been pretty good for the most part. There has been a lot more rocks on this last half of it. Right now it's pretty good, just, you know, sporadic rocks, you know, not boulders, but just rocks. Sometimes walking on boulders, not any scrambling at all today. Maybe once earlier, I can't remember if that was yesterday or today. But the rocks are the type that, you know, you have to go slow on, or else, you know, you roll an ankle or jab the bottom of your foot. And, you know, with my feet already hurting and everything, I do tend to go a little slower on those. But for the most part, it was a pretty cruisy trail so far today. Planning on going about another 5 or 6 miles there's a lake that has a shelter and tent sites. Supposedly has spigots of water and even showers. But I've also seen comments where those might be turned off at night or in the evening, so I might not get to take a shower or use a spigot or anything like that. But that's okay, because there's a shelter there and tent sites, so that's where I'll probably camp tonight. I don't foresee it being full or anything like that, so that's where I'm aiming for at this point. About 3,500 of elevation so far. I think it's about another 800 or 1,000 to that. Nothing too bad at all today. No more summits today. So basically just miles to get there now. and trying to take care of the feet at the same time. And I'm getting hungry, so I can't wait to get there and eat. But that's where I'm headed now, and show you anything good that happens in the meantime. This that I'm walking across right now is actually an old mining road. This was used by long time ago. They think by like horses and carrying carts and stuff for the miners and the mining. That was, I guess, this particular state park. That's what it used to be before it was a state park. Was a big area for mining. And I'm on the original road that they used, I guess, going to wherever they mined. Whether it was a cave or a cavern or underground, or I guess that would depend what they're mining for, but I think most mining is underground, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's what that road was an old mining road from hundreds of years ago. This is what's called the Telephone of the Wind. I think it's only one other place. At least that's where it started. That was Japan. Basically, it's a symbolic way to be able to talk to your loved ones who have passed on. You call them on what their old phone number used to be, and you talk to them. Obviously, it's not plugged in. You're not going to call whoever has that number now, but me being the symbolic person I am, you know, every mountain is something. It's every mountain I cross and stand on top of and summit and put in a bag, it's another obstacle that I overcame in life and stood on top of, another trial, another tribulation. And I'm a very symbolic person. So I am going to pick this phone up and I'm going to call my mom, my dad, and my daughter. How fitting on Father's Day that I'm going to call my daughter. All right. Talk to y'all soon. So I'm finally at this beach, this lake. As you can see, it's deserted. Must be pretty busy in the summer or something, but over there is where I go for where the AT hikers can camp and have a shelter and everything. I'm hoping there's water over there. It looks kind of disgusting, this water. I don't even think I want to go in there for a swim, but, well, I mean, I don't swim, but soak my feet. But I'm going to tell you right now, between you and all the hundreds of people that will see this, maybe thousands eventually, that trail, 2 miles of trail, that wrapped around through all of that, through all those rocks and woods to come to this lake, was some of the crappiest, least maintained trail that I've been on. And it could be because I'm very hungry and hangry, or it could be because my feet are already hurting and I'm just ready to stop and go eat some food and go to bed. But oh my goodness, every freaking quarter of a mile felt like a mile. So freaking annoying. Ugh. But made it down here finally, so hopefully I can get a nice peaceful spot and find some water, eat some food, go to bed, and do it all over again tomorrow.